where the 9-dash line more or less extends. 9-dash. Because there are 9, it was drawn up by 9 dashes. Donnie, get this. Okay. Yes, please.
We're just waiting for the projector to remove somebody tripped on the line.
Okay. Can you remove that white block? Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Teach him how to use the just point it out with the pointer. Okay. And on this side, probably very close to Palawan and covering, including the Spratlys. Diba? Okay. Yes, that is the 9-dash line. You may be seated, Mr. Ambassador. Now, my specific question here is that there have been actual military skirmishes between the Philippines and China, because they are now claiming the Spratlys as part of their national territory. Would you like to tell the committee, more or less, how many hectares is the South China Sea claim of the People's Republic?
Since Your Honor, since they claim the 9-9 line, they almost claim the whole, including a part of our territory.
All right. Now, there have already been military clashes, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Against what country?
Vietnam?
Yes. In what year? In which years?
The last one, 1992.
Actually, 1974 and 1988. Now, recently, the mouthpiece of the People's Republic of China came up with very disturbing statements. Now, this is a newspaper that is recognized as the official organ of the People's Republic of China. Are you familiar with a newspaper called the Global Times?
I'm not familiar, Your Honor.
Do you read it every time it is published?
I don't have that, Your Honor.
This is. That's why I'm really worried, Mr. Ambassador, because you have not even been paying attention to matters that relate to China, since you've already been ambassador designate for about 4 months. Mr. Ambassador, the Chinese Communist Party newspaper is called Global Times, and it has been recognized as the official mouthpiece for the People's Republic of China. And recently, sometime in October, last month. This is what they wrote. The time to use force, by the way, Mr. Ambassador, this is published in both English and Chinese, which means that they mean for the rest of the world to read what they write. And this is the headline they used on or about October 3. The time to use force has arrived in the South China Sea. Let us wage wars on the Philippines and Vietnam to prevent more wars. I'll repeat that. Let us wage wars on the Philippines and Vietnam to prevent more wars. And it continued, the South China Sea is the best place for China to wage war. Of the more than 1,000 oil rigs there, none belongs to China. Of the 4 airfields in the Spratly Islands, none belongs to China. Once a war is declared, the South China Sea will be a sea of fire with the burning of oil rigs. Who will suffer the most from a war? Once a war starts there, the Western oil companies will flee the area. Who will suffer the most? Then it went on to argue that the war should be focused on striking the Philippines and Vietnam, the 2 noisiest troublemakers, to achieve the effect of killing 1 chicken to scare off the monkeys. Now, Mr. Ambassador, I'm bothered that you don't even know that they've said this about us.
Who are the monkeys? Who are the monkeys?
The white monkeys?
Who are the chickens?
We are the chickens. And I'm really disturbed that you don't know that these things are being said and are happening.
Although I read a lot of concerning China, Philippines matter, but this comes incidentally. I don't have this article.
You know, Mr. Ambassador, you're supposed to protect our interests, my interests, our children's interests. And you're not alert at all. You don't seem to care that these are things that are happening. You don't care that it's been said and you're totally and blissfully ignorant of it. Now, we're not going to confirm you with that type of attitude.
I don't think so. So I don't.
The excuses that you're giving is simply unacceptable. You will remember, Mr. Ambassador, when you paid a courtesy visit on me at your request, you remember my advice to you. Do you remember that, Mr. Ambassador?
Yes, Your Honor.
What did I say?
Your Honor, you gave me three questions that concerning the.
My advice to you, Mr. Ambassador, is study well and study hard, because I will be asking you a lot of questions during the nomination process to test your fitness and competence. And you said you would. Is this the
Your
best?
Honor,
Is this the best you can do, Mr. Ambassador? Because
Your
I'm really
Honor,
scared to send you to Beijing.
Your Honor, I can say that I'm not perfect, and nobody is perfect. But I can make things. I try my best thing to make things perfect. I swear to that.
Mr. Ambassador, if that's your best, I'll be very scared to send you to Beijing. You don't know what's happening, and you don't seem interested enough to know what's happening. I mean, the Global Times is the national mouthpiece of the People's Republic of China. I mean, if I were in New York, I would certainly be reading the New York Times, the Washington Post, and all the various journals over there. And I would also be reading the reports of the various think tanks to learn how the American thinking is going. But here, something as simple as the Global Times, you're not familiar with. And this is an area that affects our country. They've just declared that let's declare war on the Philippines.
If I may read one of this article.